Okay, this lesson is week 5, day 3. You're going to be working with activity sheet 133, which is going to be alphabetizing some words. Yes, all of these words do end with final stable syllable T-I-O-N, which says shun, but don't let that mess you up on your alphabetizing. Okay, go through the same steps and procedures as we've done all year to get those alphabetized. You're also going to be using worksheet 133 on the front, homework 133 on the back, and this is referring to the doubling rule part 2. Now we're going to do a little review of doubling rule part 1, which we did a couple of weeks ago. We did have a wall card for it. All right, so taking a look at doubling rule part 1, when the final syllable of a word is accented, it ends with one vowel and one consonant. Double the final consonant before adding a vowel suffix. And you may remember that we went through a process of giving it check mark. If there were 2 check marks, we would then double it. If there were not 2 check marks, then you didn't double it. We're going to do a quick little review of this portion of the doubling rule, and then our main focus today is going to be on the second part of the doubling rule. Okay, keep in mind that in your reference booklet, all of these wall cards can be found in your reference booklet, so you should have that, and it's there for you to use if you need to. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at doubling rule part 1, which we took a look at a couple of weeks back. Okay, keep in mind, as we said before, all right, if it is the accented syllable and it has a vowel and a consonant, it gets a check mark. Okay, so another thing to keep in mind, this has suffix ing. So ing is a suffix, so it's its own syllable. Sit is your base word. Okay, so if you were to go through the process there of coding that, you would know that that's going to be a short I because it's in between those 2 consonants. Okay, sitting. The accent does occur on sit. Okay, and so with that being said, we have a vowel followed by a consonant, so we have a check mark. This is a vowel suffix because it starts with an which is the vowel, so it gets a check mark. So what happens when they both get a check mark? That's correct. You're going to double that consonant, giving you the word sitting, which has 2 T's. Okay, so that's part 1 of that doubling rule. We're going to take a look today at part 2 of the doubling rule, and we're going to go through a similar process except that what we're looking for on this one is going to be a little different. Okay, so let me just write a few things up here. Okay, so let's take a look at these words, okay? Keeping in mind, also, if you take a look at your worksheet, it's got the information for you up here on the rules, okay? So to begin, we're going to give 1 check mark if the root word ends with an accented vowel consonant or with a silent E, okay? So that's one of the things we're going to be looking for. And then 1 check mark if the suffix is a vowel suffix. All right, so after you look at it, if you have 2 check marks, you're going to double the final consonant, or you're going to drop the silent E before adding the suffix. Okay, if you have only 0 or 1 check marks, then you just add that suffix on there. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this at the first one here. Okay, refer plus suffix ed. All right, so refer. If you go through the coding process of that, which you'll need to do in order to help you figure out where the accent goes on that, you should see that you have a VCV pattern on that. Okay, refer. So the split's here because that's a long E. You've got combination ER. Okay, refer. refer. If I do you hear me say, I need you guys to refer to page 5? Or do I say, I need you guys to refer to page 5? So with that, you can hear the accent would come on the second syllable of that word. All right, so at this point, we do have that accent on the second syllable. We do have the vowel. We do have the consonant. Okay, so that one's going to receive a check mark. All right, now again, is this a vowel suffix? Yes, it is, because it starts with an E. All right, so that one would also get a check mark. So again, for doubling purposes, if we have 2 check marks, what do? That's right, we double the consonant. So we now have the word referred with 2 R's. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at this next one here. And I'm going to go ahead and put my check mark boxes, which I should have done that to begin with. Okay, so let's go ahead and code the first part of this one. All right, you know we're dealing with suffix ing. That already is what it is. Okay, no combinations, no digraphs, no trigraphs, things of that nature. So we're going to go ahead and look for the vowel consonant patterns. At that point, you should have identified V, C, C, V. This is going to be your normal split between the 2 consonants. Short U here, short E here, up, set, upset. All right. Now think about how you say the word upset. Do you say, that little girl is so upset? Or do you say, that little girl is so upset? Yes, so the accent's coming on that second syllable again. All right. So once we've done that, we've identified accent, second syllable. We do have vowel, consonant. So does it get a check mark? Yes, it does. Suffix ing, is that a vowel suffix? Yes, it is. Why? Yes, because it starts with an I, so it gets a check mark. Again, both have check marks. So what do we do if both have check marks? That's right. We're going to double that consonant, giving us the word upsetting with 2 T's. Okay? It was very upsetting when we found out we couldn't come back to school this year. Upsetting. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at this last one. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead and start the coding. We know this is suffix ER. Okay? Let's start the coding process here. Okay? All right. Looking through it, looking for combinations, digraphs, trigraphs, things of that nature. You probably have identified combination AR as in star. Okay, I don't really see anything else that I can work with in terms of that. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and look for my vowel consonant patterns. Okay, which remember, this can be V together there because, well, no, that's not right. It's actually going to be VC because that's a vowel consonant combination. So BC, CV. All right. You don't want to split that combination. So your split's going to be here like normal between the 2 consonants. Okay. So you've got, could be hard G or soft G. We know it's garden. So it's hard G that says G, R, gar, D, N, short E, garden. Okay. Now at this point, you want to think about where the accent's going to be. All right. Did your grandma say, go run out to the garden and pick carrots? Or does she say, go run out to the garden and pick carrots? That's right. She says garden, not garden. Therefore, the accent's going to be on the first syllable. So look at the difference here. These 2, accent is on the second syllable. This one, accent is on the first. So does that match our rule? No, it doesn't, because remember, the accent has to be on the last syllable of the word plus have that vowel consonant. This one has the vowel consonant, but is that the part that's accented? No. So does that get a check mark? No, it doesn't. What about suffix ER? Is it a vowel suffix? Yes, it is, because it starts with an E, so it gets a check mark. But do we have 2 check marks? No, we don't. So we're not doubling the consonant there. And we didn't double that, remember, because the accent was on the first syllable. It wasn't on the last syllable of the word with that vowel and that consonant. Okay, so here you're not doubling. You're just writing garden and you're adding on that suffix. Okay, so that can be a little tricky. So you are going to have to pay close attention to where you would place the accents on each of those words. So put those words in those sentences. Listen for where you're going to put the accents on those. Okay, use the rules to help you work through this process and figure out what to do on each of those. Okay, now let's take a look at one more thing that we didn't actually cover through that process. Well, actually, I'm not going to cover that. That's going to come in a different lesson. Let me know if you have any questions about the doubling rule, part 2.